Welcome to Crimes Beyond Borders, where we'll bring you the most thrilling true crime stories every single day. If you're fascinated by mystery, intrigue, and the darker side of human nature, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us as we unravel the most shocking and perplexing criminal cases from around the world. The story is about to begin after this intro.
From city streets to far-off lands, mystery slipping through our hands. Crimes beyond borders they speak, voices strong but words are meek. Every story leaves a mark, whispers softly in the dark.
Our stories at first are made for ourselves, to comfort us, to help us sleep, and to learn. Along the way, they become a part of our journey, teaching us English and fueling our passion for true crime. So, listen carefully, and if you're about to sleep, close your eyes. Let's begin.
I was once the king of kings. That's what they called me, the brother leader, the guide of the revolution. A man revered and feared in equal measure, the one who transformed a desert nation into something powerful, something feared. And yet here I sit, in the rubble of a country I spent over 4 decades ruling, watching it all crumble. I was once a revolutionary, a liberator. Now they call me a tyrant. But they don't understand. How could they? The world, these so-called rebels, they can't possibly comprehend what I did for Libya. They only see what they want to see. I didn't start out as a tyrant. I began as a young man filled with righteous anger and a vision for my people. Libya, my homeland, was under the thumb of the West. Our oil flowed into foreign hands while our people lived in poverty. I couldn't stand it. I wouldn't. I was just 27 when I seized power, young and bold, unafraid of the forces that stood in my way. That's the thing they forget. When I overthrew the monarchy in 1969, I did it for the people, for the dignity of my country. For all of us. In those days, I was a hero. People forget that. The world forgets that. They only remember the chaos that came later. But in the beginning, I was loved, revered. I was the man who took back Libya for Libyans. I kicked out the Americans, closed their bases, and seized our oil. Suddenly, we were rich, and that wealth, it belonged to us, not to the imperialists. I gave it back to the people, built roads, schools, hospitals. I created the great man-made river, turning desert into fertile land, giving life to places where there was only sand. The people cheered for me then. The world may have called me unpredictable, but to my people, I was a revolutionary, a savior. But revolutions, they don't last, not without control. That's the thing the world never understood about me. You cannot build a nation, you cannot wield power without being feared. The West, they don't want to admit it, but even in their so-called democracies, power is maintained by fear. Fear of losing what you have, fear of your enemies. I saw this clearly. The world may change, but the fundamental truth of power does not. And if I had to be feared to protect Libya, to protect my revolution, then so be it. Over the years, the world turned against me. The West, they couldn't tolerate a man like me, someone who wouldn't bow to their demands, someone who used their own oil wealth against them. They tried to kill me. Reagan, he sent those bombs trying to destroy me, but I survived. I always survived. They called me mad. But what is madness if not simply the refusal to conform to their version of order? Yes, I did what was necessary to maintain my power. If I didn't crush dissent, Libya would have crumbled into chaos long ago. I watched as so many other nations, those who embraced freedom and democracy, fell into civil wars, their streets filled with blood. But not in Libya, not under my watch. I kept order. The tribal factions, the rivalries that have existed for centuries, I kept them in check. You see, Libya is not like the West. We are a nation of tribes, of deep histories and old wounds. It took strength, my strength, to hold it all together. Yes, I had enemies, and yes, I dealt with them ruthlessly. That is the nature of power. If you want to keep it, you must be willing to do what others will not. The Lockerbie bombing, the assassinations abroad, they call me a terrorist for these things. But I was only defending my nation, retaliating against those who sought to weaken me. If the West wanted to play dirty, I would play dirty. They never expected me to last as long as I did. But something happened. The world shifted. The Arab Spring, they call it. A wave of protests, of uprisings, they spread across the Middle East, toppling dictators and monarchs alike. And then it came for me. This was different. This wasn't about freedom, not really. It was about chaos, about factions and tribes that had been waiting for their chance to tear apart everything I'd built. The West, those hypocrites, they backed the rebels, gave them weapons, air support. NATO bombed my cities, my people. They called me a butcher, but what about them? What about their bombs, their drones, their endless meddling? The rebels, they were nothing without the West's help. Just gangs and militias, tribes fighting for scraps. But the West, they painted me as a monster, as if I was the one destroying Libya. And the people, my people, they turned against me. They forgot what I had done for them. They saw only my grip, not the protection it provided. And now, I'm hiding like a rat in my own country, the country I once ruled as a king. They've taken Tripoli. They've taken Sirte. My loyalists are gone, my army crumbled. NATO hounds me from the sky, and these rebels, they come for my head. And here I am in the ruins, surrounded by the people I once held up, now jeering at me. It's funny, isn't it? How quickly they forget. How quickly they turn. But even now, I don't regret what I did. Libya needed me. It needed my strength, my vision. Without me, it will fall apart. It is falling apart already. These so-called liberators don't know what they've unleashed. Without me, the tribes will tear each other apart. There will be no unity, no order, just blood and ruin. Do they not see? Do they not understand that the West is using them? They will never have peace. I was the only one who could keep this country together. I was the only one strong enough.
The end of Gaddafi's rule. In October 2011, after months of civil war and NATO intervention, Muammar Gaddafi was finally captured and killed by rebel forces in his hometown of Sirte. His death marked the official end of his 42-year reign, but the chaos he warned of did indeed follow. Libya has since struggled with internal conflict, warring militias, and a fractured political landscape. Gaddafi's fall is often viewed as the end of an era in the Middle East and North Africa, a cautionary tale of power, dictatorship, and the fragile nature of control in a volatile region. Though he was vilified for his brutality and eccentricity, his role in shaping modern Libya remains undeniable, and his ghost lingers in the ongoing struggle for stability in the country he once ruled with an iron fist. The story has come to an end, but stay relaxed. If you feel yourself drifting off to sleep, just let the video play and enjoy the soothing music in the background. Let it guide you gently into rest. We'll be here, bringing you more stories every night. Sleep well, and see you tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Dimly glow, secrets hidden where few will go. In the half-light, truth begins to show. Unseen forces pull and tow. Windows shut, curtains drawn tight. Lonely figures melt in the night. Echoes fade out of sight. Moonlight bathes the world in fright. Ticking clocks, relentless sound. Time slips when danger's around. In the shadows, lost and found. Haunting silence so profound. Flickering lamps dimly glow. Secrets hidden where few will go. In the half-light, truth begins to show. Unseen forces pull and tow. Windows shut, curtains drawn tight. Lonely figures melt in the night. Echoes fade out of sight.